Oh no.
Nerds.
Someone died because of my actions?
Do you say that?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the officer that was with Varho speaking. I forget her name again. Kaluve. What do you mean your actions?
Well, I leaned on the wall.
You leaned on the wall?
And I opened up a door. I tried to open a door.
Which was it? Did you try to open the door or did you lean on the wall?
Well, I leaned on the wall when I tried to open the door.
So when you tried to open the door, you leaned on the wall. You just happened to release the emergency exit.
I would have recognized an emergency exit.
Well, escape.
Escape from what?
Well, in case anything's, well, as ironic as it might sound, the chances of this wall falling are pretty great. So each of these
I can
apartments was
tell.
built with an emergency escape so that they could easily just hit a button on the inside and be flung to safety.
You need better construction on this wall. This is very dangerous. As I've walked around here, I've noticed many places where things could collapse at any minute.
You don't say.
I
it
am
seems
saying
like
right
you've-
now you can hear me.
It seems like you've caused one of these collapses yourself.
It seems like anyone could cause one of these collapses. If perhaps I could talk to some of your engineers, I could point out some areas where improvements could be made.
Officer. I think what my friend here is trying to say is he's a victim of happenstance. He was standing here trying to get in, trying to get to one of his friends or some companion that was over here in this area, and things just went horribly, horribly awry.
That is an accurate statement.
You should have played a protocol droid.
Verpine aren't that far off.
No, I know. I know. Udell, let's roll some cool.
All right.
Either cool or deception. I'd let you do deception at this point. You're trying to convince this officer that you already knew this Verpine and that everything that he's doing is hunky-dory.
I'll go with cool on this one. What would you
Okay,
like
cool.
the difficulty to be?
Yeah, the difficulty's just going to be 2 purple.
All right. Let's see exactly how cool I am.
So far, the dice have not been favoring me tonight.
Well, I know I'm pretty cool on that one. So
Oh, yes, you are so cool.
there is 3 successes and an advantage.
All right. Well, we will still have to bring you in. In fact, what did you say your name was? Udell?
It's Udell Ilvi.
Udell. I saw you talking to the governor's agent earlier. Unfortunately, we'll have to ask you to come in with us, and unfortunately as well, I must arrest your friend.
Oh, I'm sure we can come to an agreement on my friend.
I'm sure you can as well, but it's not going to be
That
up
is-
to me. He was he potentially could have caused more damage, so I must take him in.
Well, wasn't he attempting to rescue other people that were stuck halfway down this chain?
No, I heard him saying that he was going for his own apartment.
I think that's just something that may have had
So,
just in
what-
At this point, Norris comes up and says, "Look, I'll gladly go in. I was trying to get some things out of my place. I wasn't sure if we'd be able to bring things back up to this level, so I wanted to make sure my things were safe. I'm glad to come in and answer any questions and, pay any royalties. We've got plenty of..."
my friend, so you lied to me? You told me you were going to save people.
Well, one of us is lying here.
And I'm sure it's you.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a deception check. You're not in risk of being arrested at this point, but let's see if you can get past...
Against what?
I'm actually going to have you roll against Norris's cool, which is going to be 3 reds.
Wow, all right. This one's going to be
That's a
fun.
cool dude.
Yeah, he's a real cool dude.
This dude's on the level. Let's see what happens with that one. I failed miserably.
How miserable.
Advantage?
Yeah, so, let's see, that's 4, 5 with... I failed by 2
And 2 advantage.
and 2 advantage.
All right, so what are your 2 advantages going to be? Norris is going to grab his bag from you at this point full of the credits and fake hollow projector.
Then I elbow him, and he shuts up and quits pushing it.
Okay, cool. He'll do that. So he's gonna be booked. You're gonna be booked. Click.
I am booked for what? I did stabilize the building, and this is very...
Yes, but
this does not make any sense.
an accidental murderer who stops the bleeding still must come in for questioning.
An accidental murder. You have this entire wall and construction is a murder weapon waiting to happen. Anyone could have caused this. In fact, if you look...
I agree, but I am a simple officer of the law, and you were the anyone that happened to break this particular wall. You're not going to prison necessarily. You just must come in and answer questions.
Mighty suspicious.
Yes, it is mighty suspicious when 70 apartments fall from a wall and the one person who could be explained as the person responsible wants to avoid answering questions, especially when he says all he wants to do is help.
Which is all I have done.
No, you breaking the wall didn't help.
The wall was already broken, sir.
Well, it was like it when I got here.
I tried that line. You spoke up.
All right, so are you going to go willingly?
I do not have much choice.
Well, you do have a choice.
I'm going to look at Norris and tell him, I'll meet you at the station.
Yeah, he gives you a nod and takes the cuffs.
I don't have... Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and go.
Gonna
All
have
right,
to
cool.
go.
All right, Luika, what are you doing in this scenario? You're helping people up still, I'm sure, making sure that other friends of yours are safe. Probably not as close of acquaintances as you and Raznak are.
But I know this area. I've been running in this area for the last 5 years. So
yeah,
I feel like I know the residences pretty well as some of the people. In fact, some probably still pay me a little bit of deference for reasons of past exploitation, I guess, or not exploitation, anti-exploitation.
Yeah, so you kind of help people up and out of this area here. And at that point, we're going to kind of shift to a sky above Taris, aboard a Star Destroyer. Several troopers rush to and fro, going to their different stations, and we see Grand Moff Justice Taniel, his white cape draped over his shoulder. It's kind of like a half cape that connects over his right shoulder and goes behind him, and then his light gray uniform underneath, with all of his distinguishments and medals. And I mean, this guy's decorated. He is known for when the Empire was founded in 19. Well, I guess he wouldn't know it as 19 ABY, but we know it as 19 BBY, not ABY. He is known for being the individual who started the Storm Commandos program, which was largely lauded as one of the stronger military wings for a long time in the Empire, and still to this day is used. And so he marches through with 2 Storm Commandos at his side, their helmets off and carrying them. And he wanders down the hall having a discussion with the 2 of them. And which 2 of you would be willing to play the voices of a couple of Storm Commandos for a little while?
Okay.
Rick, you got one of them?
Sure, why not?
Who else wants to make story decisions for a Storm Commando?
Sure, why not?
Great.
We're crashing a Star Destroyer. We got it.
Okay. Well, no, that's the other campaign.
Okay.
That's the other one. That's the other one. Okay, so your names are going to be Rick, you're going to play a male named Kieran Fergo. Go ahead and write this down. You're going to be the voice for Kieran anytime he comes up. So make sure to make a note of how you treat his voice there. And Mike, you are going to play the pilot named Adra Guth. Both human, of course. We're in the Empire, after all. As far as the two of you know, there's been whispers of the resistance on Taris. You have no idea where or who is involved or how it has shaped, but you know that you've captured a couple of people on the planet who were showing signs of rebellion, and they've said, yeah, there's a resistance, and then they killed themselves. They basically said, like, the resistance is coming, and then they were dead, like the next day kind of thing. Very much made to look like a suicide. So that's kind of where you're at on your hunt for these resistance people. Resistors?
Resistance?
For the resistance. What? Members of the resistance.
Resistance.
The resistance. So you're walking with Justice Taniel, and he turns to you, Kieran, and says, what did you hear about the explosions and the crumbling wall down near the Undercity?
I don't know what it is, but I think it probably involves the resistance. They have been getting braver and braver, and we should do what I have suggested. We should storm the Undercity with our troops.
You think they would attack the Undercity directly?
I think we should.
Do you think they did? As our key demolitionist on your unit, what do you think the cause of that collapse was?
Well, honestly, the place is ready to fall down. It wouldn't have taken much. A few charges in a specific place could have brought the whole thing down. They want to create chaos down there. They want to show that we don't have the power to run the place, to keep things in line.
I agree.
We need to show them that we do not, that we do have the power. We need to make our presence felt stronger than ever.
I see. So, and at this point, a droid comes into view with a data pad, and the Moff types a couple of keys into it, signs something, and sends the droid on its way. And he turns to Adra and says, do you think that you could get a covert unit into the Undercity?
Without a doubt, sir.
How many men do you think we need?
I'd say 2 squads.
2 squads.
We want to keep this small. We want to keep it sharp and quick.
I see. And what do you two think the target should be? Where do you think the most likely place that these resistors are?
Well, if they're operating in the Undercity, we know that they wouldn't be part of the crime syndicates. So my best bet would be if we stick close to maybe some of the pubs, some of the starports, some of the landing facilities, some of the little watering holes that are around there. We'll at least hear rumors of what's going on.
I see. So you think we should send more covert operatives into the Undercity? Go and
yes.
watch. You said 2 squads, so you're thinking, what, 10? 10 troops? 10 commandos?
Between 8 and 10, yes, that should work. We should be able to cover all of the immediate locations, and if we don't have any confirmation quickly, then we can move to another area of the Undercity and continue the operation.
I still think we need a large presence down there.
I see. Well, Adra, you and Kieran go to one of our Outer Rim bases. Find yourselves a squad, each of about 4 people. No, I guess, do they call them humans in Star Wars? Yeah. No humans. We want to be as least Empire specific as we can.
Yeah, but can we... I haven't found I really trust anybody but the humans.
Don't worry. Any operatives you pick up in our Outer Rim bases are going to be fully trained and fully cooperative with the Empire's goals.
I've heard that before.
Money is a very motivating factor for some of these scum.
That's true, but I don't trust anybody that works for just money.
Well, that's the entire party.
I don't trust any of the entire party.
That's fair. Then you probably shouldn't.
Well, that's not true. I know of one who doesn't work for money.
Listen, Fergo, if you don't think you can handle this operation, we can send you to blow something up instead. But I would rather you be on our side here on Taris.
Okay. I will do as commanded, sir. I'm a good soldier.
All right, and they continue walking down this, brightly lit, dark steel hallway, and Adra and Kieran are going to fly off to the Outer Rim to find a squad or two of alien species to help them begin a covert operation in the undercity of Taris. And a few days pass, and you all find yourselves sitting in the offices of a green and pink-skinned Gamorrean. You guys mostly probably know that these are kind of the pink-skinned, the piggish-looking, mostly servants of the Hutts. And I say all of you, including Varho. You've been invited as well. And you know this is one of the combat directors of the city. They're widely known. They've been elevated from pit boss to combat director to show that Taris is on their side. Their fights have become quite the tourist attraction, and they've been fully legalized, which is why there have been no deaths at all whatsoever, because of certain protections and medics that have been available on site to ensure the safety of all of their combatants. There have been certain measures put in place, weapons that have been disallowed from being used, etc. So this is a trusted person in almost a government role on Taris. And so he's basically asked you there to thank you for your service with his people, helping save the gladiators that you could. And so you're all four sitting in his office, in his very old, like at one point they looked like they should have been very, very comfortable chairs. Very high-backed, cloth stuffing. They look like they should have been very comfortable antiques, but over time they have lost much of their comfort, but not much of their luster. They still look like very nice chairs.
Just a point of order, is this Lugnug's office?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, it's Lugnug's office.
Okay.
And so he is sitting kind of behind his desk. He's got like comically small glasses for his face on as he fills out paperwork. And just kind of make sure things are in order. He had to give a statement to the police because of the verpine that had been found in their cages, which he did not put there. So there's also an ongoing investigation for that, as well as an investigation for how on earth did that apartment eject, because upon further inspection, the buttons that you pressed should not have done that.
Do they also know about the dead body up in the waterfall?
Lugnug probably does. You probably told him by that by now.
No,
I mean, it's
would've-
been a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm aware, but I'm not connected to it in any means or ways, because that would look
So
badly
you
given
say.
my...
Yeah.
Well, I would have gone back to Lugnug, so...
Sure. Yeah, so that's just kind of where we are. And Lugnug is sitting at his desk. He takes off his comically small glasses and sets them down and says, I wanted to thank each of you for your actions at my, we'll call it, apartment complex.
I'm glad that I could help.
That's the job.
But-
it just comes with the nature of luck.
I do
Well-
not understand, though. Why do you support something that its sole purpose is to injure people for entertainment?
Do you mean the wall?
No. The wall was just a catastrophe because of bad engineering and neglect.
Then what do you mean?
I mean, these pits that people fight in. I do not understand.
Well, that's neither here nor there right now. What I want to offer you is a job.
In these pits?
Well,
Or
no.
to help fix the wall?
Don't worry. Luika does a great job in the pits. I don't really need any more fighters. What I need are people who know people, and he looks at Udell, and know how to interact with them well. I need people who are smart enough to create. And he looks to you. Click. And Varho, if you wouldn't mind joining us as a liaison to law enforcement. sort of a help when we need to get into or out of situations.
I kind of give Lugnug the side eye and basically like do the eyebrow raise of like, really? You're asking this guy?
I can't force you to do anything, Varho, and I need to know who killed my Gregory.
Gregory? Who's Gregory?
Gregory was a pet of mine, a Nexu. One that I caught myself, and I don't do that very often. Somebody killed Gregory in cold blood before our fight.
Well, that sounds like a job for the Taris authorities.
If you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Unfortunately, and don't take this the wrong way, officer, Gregory was not registered. So I'd prefer to not ask the actual Taris authority. I would like for you to help us in whatever way you are willing to do. Now, the option is there for you to tell your superiors that I had an unregistered Nexu. Do what you will. But if you work with me, I can promise you freedom that you don't currently have. And so you feel like he's probably done some research on you and figured out a little bit about your non-existent backstory on Taris. So he doesn't reveal anything to anybody else because, of course, he wants to respect your authority as an officer, but he also is giving that hint that he kind of knows where you might have a little bit of a debt to pay off or something like that he can help you with.
I do have some free time. I could look into that for you.
I would greatly appreciate it. And like I said, I will help you in every way that is within my means. I don't let my friends go unaided.
Good to know.
You talked about a job. I don't know that I can work for you right now. I have some things that I have to do.
At that point, he snaps his fingers and the door opens, and not your brother, but the other Verpine that had come here with you walks through.
Galak. Galak.
Click.
What?
It is so good to see you.
Where's Kalisa?
Kalisa was lost to me. In fact, we were both captured in our transmitters. Well, they're not transmitters, but you would know them as transmitters. Our antennae were broken, and you now see, like, he doesn't have them. They're gone.
Oh my gosh, the sadness. That is horrible.
Yes, the very sadness.
You were alone.
Utterly alone. I'm so glad to have you, though.
Yes. Do you have any idea where he was taken? How was there a fight? What happened?
When we went to see the individual about our quarry, we were ambushed and captured, and I did not see him after that.
Oh my.
Yes, it has been quite the tumultuous introduction to Taris, but this Lugnug has been kind enough to offer me solace in apartment and food while I search.
That is all good. We must begin immediately. We must get out there. We must find him.
If your friend is still alive, I will have all of my agents searching for him.
I need to be a part of that.
This step toward the person who has done this to my Gregory is a step in the right direction. There are nefarious types that would see the things that we do in the pits squashed out.
Well, not just nefarious types see the things that you do squashed out. But I will assist you if you will help me find my brother.
We will do everything we can. And you will hear about it first.
Then we have an agreement.
To you, I offer credits. Don't sigh like that.
Credits are
Nemoidian.
good, but my friend and I, Norris.
Yes. The cop lover.
Yes, the cop lover. We have some debts to pay.
Oh no, you misunderstand. And he hits his desk and a data pad kind of folds up from it, and you literally see like the beginnings of a romantic scene with him and the officer that arrested him. And he quickly shuts it down. You don't need to see the rest.
Actually, I might want to watch that video. It's something I can hold over his head for leverage later on.
Well, you do what you want, but this video's in my private stash. I think there's more to your friend than you possibly knew.
Well, I know he helps me. So in this negotiation, I think I need to make sure that he's covered.
Well, do you
And not by an officer.
do you want to see? I will
What kind of credits are we talking about here?
the kind you can spend. In fact, you and to this, Luika, you even perk up because you haven't had access to this before. I will give you all access at the end of each job to my personal vendor in the black market.
An extra contact is always good, too. I think we have an accord.
Good. The next place you must look. The sword belonged to an individual that lives in this district. I knew him. His name was Antone Giuseppe, and he's been dead for 3 years. I don't know how anyone got his weapon, but you have to track that down. Varho, I'm hoping that you can help us with that.
I'll see what I can find.
Let me know your progress. And he kind of stands up, puts his little comically small glasses back on, and turns around to look out the window, signaling that you can leave.
Where are we staying? I have no place to stay.
You've got information, Luika, on where they can house themselves for now.
Okay. So I will put them up in the decent, basically the guest quarters.
Do you, Mike?
Yeah, I will put them up in the guest quarters. I'm not technically a secretary, but I kind of usher y'all out. But I kind of take your, take y'all to where y'all need to be. Kind of point you to the different rooms.
Yeah. Now you're not a secretary, but the champions essentially act as like underbosses for.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm
pit
saying.
boss.
Like
So-
I let them know kind of who the front people are, how basically make them aware of, because this is run almost like a business. So
it is a business.
Right, but it's got the underbelly side of it too, where
absolutely
they have to know the right, not passphrase, but the kind of the right way to get through. The right way to get through security.
the right channels to travel through.
Right.
For sure.
And so I do that, but I quickly make my way back up to Lugnug's office because I'm not done with him. He hasn't dismissed me yet, but he had kind of sort of to get them out.
Sure. So you wander back into his office, and he kind of startles. Luika, how can I help you?
So that fight yesterday, I'm aware that a lot of things happened, but do we know any more about who killed what? I mean, I'm sure you saw the video footage. What do you need me to do? Who am I to keep an eye on?
This Norris fellow, the friend of what was his name? Oodle? Udell, that's what it was. He was acting strangely. He says he went to rescue, but after watching the video, he did not help anybody up.
All right. What else do you need me to do, boss?
Work with them. I asked you in here to be a part of that team.
Even with the cop?
With the cop. I think that he can be an asset to us. For the long term.
But can he be an asset to me?
Well, we discussed when you joined me. You are no longer just you. We will take care of your issues. Because they are now our issues.
True enough. I will do my best. And I walk out.
All right. Cool. So thanks so much for joining us for the first few episodes of Urban Stars. I'm Percy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jason.
I'm Rick, and nobody was hurt in the making of this podcast.
Well, that's not working right.
Well, that didn't work.
There we go.
And I'm Chris. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.